Thank you for joining us, Commissioner Faulkner. You get social at like 2 minutes to 6. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to call our meeting to order. Welcome to the REDI Commission. We love having all these great faces in our audience. Thanks for being here tonight. And we will start with our flag salute. Commissioner Deutsch. Yes, that's all you do. All righty, we'll go ahead and we'll do roll call.
Commissioner Deutsch,
Here.
Commissioner Eventhoff,
Here.
Vice Chair Faulkner,
Here.
Commissioner Lecters is absent, Commissioner Pastorian,
Here.
Commissioner Steed,
Here.
Chair Steed,
Here.
and Commissioner Wilson.
Here.
Great, and we'll go ahead and do a motion to approve the minutes from March 9th. If I can get a motion?
I so move.
Chair Steed, we have the non-agenda public comments.
Oh, first, okay. Do we have any non-agenda public comments?
Yes, we do have 2 in-person non-agenda public comments. The first is Carrie Burdick-Ritz, followed by Dorothy Herrera.
I'm Carrie Burdick-Rutz. I am a teacher at Great Oak High School, and I represent the Indigenous Students Club, the People's Club, and they are a student-based group that formed around 12 years ago from students who needed some more connections on campus. And from that 12 years ago, they have been hosting events. We've started small. We did some cultural changes on campus at first, and now they meet weekly or monthly for larger gatherings and lunch and pizza. But one of their big events is what they're here to talk about. But I just wanted to say that they have been very influential in my life because I've learned a ton from everything that they've been teaching me. The club represents around 20 local tribes and then 2 to 3, did you say 2 to 3 national tribes? So we have students from all across the nation from different indigenous tribes. But it's been a great group, and they're really growing and getting more socially active and more outreach at school. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Dorothy Herrera.
Miyu yam cho anom, notung yuarwashika, noshun ahoyahe lovik notum kakila. Hello everyone, my name is Uiwish and I'm happy to be here with you all today. We are Indigenous Peoples Club at Great Oak High School. Our mission is to bring culture and inclusivity to our school by giving opportunities to learn about our traditions as well as create a safe environment for our peers to embrace their own culture. As a member of IPC, I would personally like to invite you all to our powwows and our Great Oak Youth and Social Powwow / gathering on April 29th, as well as thank you for allowing us to be here to speak today. Noshun Lovik.
And that concludes our public comments on non-agenda items.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you for the invitation, we appreciate it. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, now we will go ahead and we will get a motion to approve the minutes for March 9th.
I so move.
Second.
Okay. And before we go into our first business item, we do appreciate everybody being
Chair
here.
Steed, she has to take the roll call vote for the minutes.
What am
Jackie's
I
trying to
doing?
get us out of here.
I know. It's going to be a shorter meeting?
Sorry, I heard a motion from Vice Chair Faulkner and a second by
Commissioner Wilson.
Commissioner Wilson. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yes,
That's good.
yes.
I'm going to go ahead and take the roll call vote. Commissioner Deutsch,
Aye.
Commissioner Eventhoff,
Aye.
Vice Chair Faulkner,
Aye.
Commissioner Lecters, absent, Commissioner Pastorian,
Aye.
Commissioner Chair Steed,
Okay, I
and Commissioner Wilson.
Aye.
Okay, we're good. All right. Okay, so welcome to the REDI Commission. So I like to just recap why we're here. We appreciate everybody being here. So the purpose of the REDI Commission is to really look at the city's policies, its programs, and its events through a REDI lens. We want to make sure that everything the city does, that's the policies the city puts on paper and the events that the city holds, is seen through the DEI lens, so that we are inclusive of our whole community, not just people that show up, but people that commute every day, people that work really hard every day, people that can't be at all the places. But we need to be as inclusionary as possible. It goes into our marketing, it goes into how we put together every single thing that the city puts its stamp on. So that is why we are here. And we appreciate you being here. We are all community members, and it is our job to make sure that you are included when the city moves forward with its plans. So thank you again for being here. So our first business item of the evening is we are going to get a presentation on how our 2023 Culture Fest event is coming together. So welcome.
Put this right back up here. All right, Chris is gonna go to our slide. There we go. Good evening, commissioners. You might remember me. I'm Willa Augustine. I am the Community Services Coordinator for the Special Events Division in the Community Services Department. Tonight, I'll be giving you a quick update on our upcoming event, Culture Fest. This will be our second annual event. It'll take place on Saturday, May 20th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in both Town Square Park and Sam Hicks Monument Parks. As you may recall from last year's event, we have a very large vendor area surrounding the Y on Main Street in Town Square Park and also at Sam Hicks Monument Park. So far, we received 30-plus food vendor applications, 40-plus product vendor applications, and 20-plus promotional vendor applications, many of which are nonprofit organizations. We've also reached out to our local high school clubs, including that one, and invited them to have a booth at our event.
Awesome.
Tomorrow is the last day. It's the deadline by 5 p.m. So if you'd like to apply, do it by tomorrow at 5. Okay. We do have a wonderful live entertainment lineup this year, including singing and dancing and drumming and clothes exhibitions. We're going to have many different cultures represented, including Polynesian, African, Japanese, Brazilian, Latin, and Chinese.
Awesome.
We also will have a free fun zone located at Sam Hicks Monument Park, and that will include a multicultural craft led by our Temecula Valley Museum staff. And commissioners are invited to join us at our event. You guys will have a booth located at Town Square Park, just like last year. And then I will be at our staff booth, and we're going to once again hand out the Culture Fest passport to encourage participants to visit each of our vendor booths, which will be many. And this concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
It's good to get an update so everybody knows that it's coming up. We'll go ahead. Any comments or questions from our commissioners?
I do. So first of all, I'm so excited for this event. Of course, it's just a long time coming. We were overwhelmed last year with the amount of input that, people came, the impact that it made in our community. Do you have like a certain amount of vendors or applicants that you can go up to, like after 75, no more?
It has to do with like the length of the streets and the size of the grass. So, but yes, I can tell you I have well over 100 vendor applications. And depending on if it's a 10 by 10 or 10 by 20, I'd say we could probably take about 60 at the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
And that is using all the space.
Okay.
So
That's good. Yeah, we're just so excited because it's like, was so needed in our community. And it's like now
Agreed.
that we have it, oh my God, we keep growing every year. We're just so excited. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll be there.
great.
Yeah, thank you.
Adam?
I was just wondering what methods of getting the word out are you using? And How you doing it?
Well, we have advertisement on our website. We've sent out a few press releases. And then our marketing team actually launched an entire marketing capital plan. So we did flyers, word of mouth, just in Old Town. And then our new senior rec leader, Millie over there, she emailed every school club in the school district. And then we also just sent emails out to anyone that's done it in the past. And obviously social media, that is one of our biggest ways of reaching the community, is our very clever reels and posts by our media team. And word of mouth, right? You guys
Wonderful.
have been going around and
Yes.
telling all your friends? Okay, perfect.
Great. Commissioner Faulkner?
Yeah, I just a comment. It was a great event last year. The traffic flow from the garage, from people coming up from Old Town to actually visit in. I think we had the market going on at the same time, if I'm not mistaken. And those people that were coming over to the event, so I think it's probably one of the most attended events, from what I saw. So I think a good start from last year. Looking forward to what we're going to do this year. Looking forward to being there and supporting it, and really talking to people about what we do is REDI. So it's always a great time. And we need to get your club signed up. You four in the middle right there on the front row. So looking forward to being there as well. So thank you for putting this on and taking the lead on it as well. Thank you.
Of course.
Wonderful. Thank you. Commissioner Deutsch, any comments?
I was curious what kind of booths you're looking for.
So we have a variety. We have different kinds of ethnic food booths. We can take about, I would say, 30 around. They go in the Horseshoe and the Y in Maine. And then we're looking for really every kind of diverse cultural booth you can imagine. So education, school clubs, religious organizations, local businesses, nonprofits, anything and everything that fits within kind of our REDI Commission culture. And that's what we want to showcase.
Wonderful.
Thank you for being here and doing all that you're doing for this wonderful event. It's really exciting to see this going on its second year. I am curious, just kind of as you start to project some things and start preparing and laying everything out, what notable improvements or changes as you start to grow this event are you seeing for this year and beyond?
One of the biggest changes, I would say, is I got a lot of feedback about our entertainment schedule. We had, and we'll have 2 stages again, the gazebo at Sam Hicks Park and then the city steps here at the Civic Center. And I had entertainment going the whole time on both stages, and people were actually disappointed because they're like, oh, I actually wanted to see that over there, but I was over here watching this. So this year, for entertainment, what I'm gonna do is, even though I'll have things going on at the same time, everyone's gonna perform on each stage.
Ooh.
So that way you won't miss it.
That's great.
Yeah, that's great, because last year we were going back and forth. We didn't want to miss
Right.
anything.
As getting those steps in back and
Yeah,
forth
yes,
between
we
the 2
did.
parks.
You're finished? Okay. And I just wanted to reiterate, we had so many people coming up to our booth just thanking the city for putting this on, that it was so important to them and their families and their kids to see all these cultures coming together and be highlighted and getting to celebrate together. So it really showed Temecula for what it is. It was beautiful. Commissioner Faulkner.
Yeah. So we do the same thing that we did last time. At our booth, we had the little thing where they punch
Yes.
they check off
Passport.
card, and we give a little gift out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
Love that.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here.
Yes,
We
thank you
appreciate
for
you
having
staying
me.
late from work.
No
and
problem.
sharing all this information with us.
And everyone is also welcome to dress up this year. We welcome that. Singing, dancing, drumming, all of that's welcomed from you guys, okay?
Oh, okay, it's on.
So I'll be on the lookout. Thank you, guys.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. Okay, so our second big business item this evening is a proclamation for Arab American Heritage Month. So I'll just give you an idea of how we do this, and this is the same we do for every single proclamation. First of all, we introduce the item, and we get comments and a report from Erica Ramirez. And we get a staff report and a video. We get a video from our mayor, who is out of town this evening. We'll read the proclamation, and we also get our assigned commissioner to go ahead and do their presentation. Our commissioner tonight is Commissioner Deutsch. And lastly, we'll do public comments on the item. I will say that unfortunately, the club that was going to be representing the Southwest Asian North African, SWANA, from Mount San Jacinto could not make it this evening, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to celebrate without them because all of us are here. And then what we'll do is we'll make sure that they get the proclamation and they can watch all of these activities at a later date. But it's important that we still move forward. We still appreciate the work they do, even if they can't make it. And I know Erica has a comment from them also that she's going to go ahead and read into the record. So it'll be like they're here, but I know that they appreciate our efforts. So that is a good thing. Alrighty, so I had my comments ready, and then I read the proclamation, and the proclamation has all my comments in it, so I'm not going to bore you by saying all that twice. But I will tell you that April was chosen for symbolic purposes. According to Dr. Amal, April was selected because it marked the beginning of the spring season, symbolizing hope, growth, color, and new beginnings, which was perfect for celebrating the wonderful Arab American community and its heritage. Okay, and we will go ahead and we will start with our staff report.
Good evening. I'm going to go ahead and start with the email that we received from Joseph Awad. He's the vice president and one of the co-founders of SWANA Club at MSJC. He reads, I really want to thank you for this invitation. I'm over the moon to hear that my city is celebrating Arab American Heritage Month. The Arab American community is active and vibrant here at Temecula, and it's beyond lovely to be recognized officially. As a Lebanese immigrant myself, it's heartwarming to see the REDI Commission's dedication towards highlighting the contributions of various marginalized groups to our nation as a whole. Whether it's Danny Thomas or Hoda Kutbi, the contributions of Arab Americans in our country extend over to many fields and industries. So really, this is a delight. I also going to share a video. Since American Heritage Month is relatively new proclamation with its first federal proclamation in April 2021, the educational videos were limited. However, we were able to locate an educational video from the Arab American National Museum, which is located in Dearborn, Michigan. The Arab American National Museum is the first and currently the only museum of its kind in the United States devoted to recording the Arab American experience. Since opening in 2005, the museum's goal has been to document and preserve and present the history, culture, and contributions of Arab Americans. The exhibitions cover the Arab world and the history of Arab Americans from the first immigrants who arrived in the late 19th century to today. Chris, you can go ahead and play the video.
Since the late 19th century, Arab Americans have been an integral part of United States history. Immigrating from regions in Southwest Asia and North Africa, they arrived here, searching for economic opportunities, seeking refuge, or to build a new home, each person with a story of their own. These stories live on through photos, documents, and heirlooms that together tell a larger story of the lived experiences brought to light by the first and only Arab American National Museum.
These artifacts, these objects, they're the stuff of history. Each object can tell us something about the lives of the earliest Arab immigrants or even the most recent ones. By collecting and preserving these objects, we're able to understand and record and document the stories that make up the Arab American community's history and allows us to understand their impact and share them with present and future generations.
The Arab American National Museum is our necessary and compelling storyteller, representing our diverse and rich culture through literature, research, art, and music. Our mission to document, preserve, and present the history and contribution of Arab immigrants and their descendants began in 2005 in Dearborn, the heart of Arab America.
It serves as such an anchor in our community, not just here in Dearborn, but it has such an international reputation. And their collections and what they do to keep the stories alive, to preserve the stories, to preserve that culture is so critical to our society in general.
The museum has drawn tens of thousands of visitors each year from all 50 states and different countries around the world to explore our core galleries and engage with the local community. From Dearborn to Ellis Island and reaching as far as Los Angeles and Houston, the Arab American story has been shared in cities across the nation. Our temporary and traveling exhibitions shine a light on how immigration has shaped the lives of Arab Americans today and how Arab Americans have in turn shaped this country.
The museum gives me a home for my ancestors, a place I can return to again and again to visit and celebrate where and who I come from.
A proud Smithsonian affiliate and accredited by the American Alliance of Museums, the Arab American National Museum educates, engages, and inspires our community to continue expanding the Arab American narrative.
Together, the Arab American National Museum and the Smithsonian are able to tell a more complete American story. Telling this American story through an Arab American lens is so important because it reminds us all what it means to be human and what it means to be a citizen of the United States.
Through youth programs and family-friendly activities, we build a new generation of museum goers, bringing students into our space to learn about their culture and the culture of their peers.
To learn to be the artist I want to be.
To learn that art can be whatever I want it to be.
To learn from and teach each other about our story.
To teach people about beauty and diversity.
The museum has always stood as a national hub for hosting community dialogue, producing and sharing knowledge, and curating thoughtful programming. Today, we continue to foster a community of arts and culture, and we provide a space for us to fully and creatively express ourselves.
Where we can represent ourselves.
To tell my story.
To raise my voice.
At its core, the museum is home to every Arab American across the nation, welcoming people near and far into our doors to experience our unique and incredible story. It is a museum that tells many stories created by us and for us, and carries our legacy forward for generations to come.
We have one more video. Unfortunately, Mayor Schwenk was not able to be here, but he sent us in a video. Chris, you can play the video.
Good evening, Chair Steed, commissioners, staff, students, and community members. I am Zach Schwenk, Mayor of the City of Temecula, and it is an honor to be here tonight as we share in the celebration of Arab American Heritage Month. Unfortunately, I'm not able to be in attendance this evening in person as I'm currently in Sacramento, but I wanted to make sure to acknowledge the proclamation presentation tonight. It's important for me that we continue to celebrate the rich cultures and traditions of many of the people in Temecula. The Arab American community is a valued part of Temecula, and it is my hope that as we continue to present these proclamations, that more people take the time to learn and grow. It is equally important that we continue to educate our community and raise awareness about the contributions, but also the struggles and biases that the Arab American community face daily. We all want a community that is vibrant, diverse, and a safe place to be. Thank you, and I hope to see everyone at Culture Fest. Have a wonderful evening.
Great job, Mayor Schwenk. All righty, and as he said, we look at all these proclamations as a way for us all to be educated about our fellow community members, so I think that's really exciting. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read the proclamation, so bear with me. The City of Temecula Proclamation. Whereas National Arab American Heritage Month celebrates the valuable contributions that Arab Americans make to every aspect of American society, and whereas the initiative for the official national designation of the month was launched in 2017 by the nonprofit Arab American Foundation and its sister organization, Arab America. And whereas the initiative began with support from a few states, gaining momentum every year with President Joe Biden officially recognizing Arab American Heritage Month through a federal proclamation in April 2021. And whereas an estimated 3.7 million Americans have Arab roots, according to the Arab American Institute, with ancestries traced to 22 countries in the Middle East and North Africa, including the Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, Palestine, Morocco, Iraq, Jordan, Yemen, Bahrain, Tanzania, Algeria, Sudan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and others. And whereas across the country, cultural institutions, school districts and municipalities, state legislators, public servants, and nonprofit organizations issue proclamations and engage in special events that celebrate our community's rich heritage and numerous contribution to society. And whereas the incredible contributions and heritage of Arab Americans have helped build a better nation, and whereas Arab American residents contribute greatly to the economic viability and the high quality of life of our community as professionals, business owners, educators, students, volunteers, veterans, and more. And whereas those contributions include those of Arab American youth in the community, including those attending the local high schools and colleges in Temecula. Now, therefore, on behalf of Mayor Zach Schwank, on behalf of the City Council of the City of Temecula, we hereby proclaim this month of April 2023 to be National Arab American Heritage Month, and call upon our community to learn about the heritage of Arab Americans and to observe this month with appropriate programs and activities. And we will go ahead and we will send this on to the student club at Mount San Jacinto and honor them and appreciate them getting together and being able to do what they do to continue to educate people. Okay, right now we're going to move on to Commissioner Deutsch, and she did a presentation for us this month.
All right. In the spirit of education, I did some research and I learned a lot. First slide. There are approximately 3.7 million Arab Americans in the United States. The Arab American population in California grew by more than 42% between 2000 and 2016. The Census Bureau estimates the statewide Arab American population is close to 373,189 and has more than doubled since the census first measured ethnic origins in 1980. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the census. California is ranked #1 state by Arab American population. Riverside County is among the top 5 counties in California with the highest population of Arab Americans, with San Diego County and Los Angeles County also included in the top 5. Next slide. Okay, a little bit of history. In 1582, the first known appearance of Arab presence was an enslaved Moroccan man named Estebancio Azamori. He came to present-day Florida as part of a Spanish expedition to conquer the territory along the Gulf coasts. Look at how many years later, 300 years later, Antonio Bishalani came to New York from Lebanon. He is thought to be the first Arab American immigrant. I assume that there were people between there. But that was really interesting. In the 1900s, early Arabs in America had to identify as white on the census in order to gain access to American citizenship without regard to the 22 different countries and multiple ethnicities across the Arab world. So more about the census. In 1977, so we're talking like 77 years later, the Office of Management and Budget, the OMB, issued Directive 15, which officially classified people who descended from Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa, all together, as white. This lack of accurate data on the community has constituted a serious threat to Arab Americans' health, education, employment, housing, and civil rights. While progress is being made, there is more work needed. In 2010, members of the Arab American community launched a campaign to change how they were classified in the census, because it is difficult to capture the community's contributions to public service or to improve the recruitment, retention, and promotion rates of Arab Americans. A coalition was formed under the leadership of the Arab American Institute. They authored a letter to the Census Bureau requesting a MENA box on the census form. In 2018, the OMB halted the test of Amina box on the census form, citing a need for further research. So today, they still have to mark white. In 2021, acknowledging the impact Arab Americans have had on everything from business to science, President Biden declared April as National Arab American Heritage Month. Next slide. So we know that it's a diverse population that has come to America from 22 different countries and many, many different ethnicities. So I want to wish everyone from us here at the Temecula REDI Commission a happy Arab American Heritage Month. Let's ace it, acknowledge, celebrate, and educate. As President Joe Biden said, the Arab American community is essential to the fabric of our nation, and I am honored to be part of this celebration that recognizes Arab American culture, heritage, and contributions to American society. Thank you.
That was fascinating. Thank you.
It was.
That was fascinating. And none of us knew that. It's crazy. So thank you for sharing. Well, Adam might have known it. He's a vault. Alrighty, we're going to move on to public comments.
We have one public comment from Jillian Larson.
Good evening, Commissioners and President Steed, city staff, and community, and everybody out there listening, because we know that everybody watches the YouTube of this, and I hope they do. So really good information on the Arab American community way back when, and still not acknowledged, and I guess we still have to put other on some of them, because I know when I fill out the census, I don't really fit into some of them either. So I think there's now a thing that says decline to answer or something, and so I take pleasure in doing that. So I am here today because I would like to congratulate the MSJC students from the Swana Club, I believe it is, the Arab American Club, on their city proclamation celebrating the National Arab American Month. I also want to congratulate you, the REDI Commission, on maintaining and celebrating their roots, the culture that they provide, and the traditions. So thank you for supporting all of the different diverse cultures that this city is lucky to have. Thank you all for being here this evening and giving us the opportunity to know more about this culture. The education and contributions that they bring to our city are so valuable, as the culture is one of many threads that make up the fabric of our city. And thank you, REDI Commission, for everything that you are doing to remind everybody that we are all different, but we're all the same. It's a privilege that we are Americans, and that we're able to celebrate and maintain our cultures and traditions. And as you know, I too am an immigrant. I also like to, and it's important to maintain my traditions, even though some of my family don't really enjoy it, like plum pudding. They think it's horrible. But I continue to serve it, and I eat it all. But it's so valuable. Once again, thank you, everybody, for being here. I do hope that everybody listens, and I do hope that our town, our city, our people do remember that we are made up of so many diverse cultures and traditions, and we should learn more about them. I've learned a lot this evening, so thank you for having this opportunity for myself and anybody else who needs to learn about other people that are part of who our city is. So thank you very much.
That's it for public comments?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I am a little partial to plum pudding myself, Jillian, so we can share it. No, it's not actually plums. All righty, we're going to go ahead and move on to Commissioner's report. Who would like to start this evening? Okay.
Okay, so thank you so much for being here. love your comment and all that. And this actually ties into something that I recently did. There is a book club that we've been doing, a diversity book club. And the book that we read is called The Sum of Us by Heather McGee. And the whole book was just really, really enlightening, disappointing, and then enlightened again. But the summary of it is what I wanted to share. It says, we need each other. Our differences have the potential to make us stronger, smarter, more creative, and a greater person. We need these people to be on different committees because we bring asset and we bring value. So for boards, council, organizations, commissioners, department heads, we need diversity and we need it now. So that's something that summarized in the book, and I just love that. And then this month is actually Fair Housing Month, and Tuesday was National Fair Housing Day, and I had the pleasure of going to Los Angeles to be involved with their event, and we had a speaker that spoke about fair housing, and Tuesday marked 55 years since the Fair Housing Act had been put in place in 1968, and it was only after Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated on April the 4th, 1968, that President Johnson signed it into law in April the 11th of 1968. And even though it's been 55 years, we are still dealing with a lot of discrimination, a lot of adversities that are going on. But I think we're on the right path to make sure we're seeing everything through a clearer lens, a lens that may not have been looked through before, but with the diversity, with the inclusion, with the equity, I think we're all moving forward in a positive manner. And I just wanted to applaud the LA County and then Riverside County for hosting a fair housing, because it educated us a little bit more on what we're doing and where we have come and where we're going. So that completes my report. Madam
Wonderful,
Chair.
thank you, Chair Wilson, Commissioner Wilson. Adam? I'd love.
All right, it's been my pleasure to actually attend the Marietta Wildemar Chambers REDI seminar. They actually have an EDI, not an REDI seminar. It's a 3-part series to learn as well as see how they do it, because like Chairwoman Steed and Commissioner Wilson, we are putting together at the Chamber of Commerce a Ready or Not seminar ourselves for the Temecula Chamber, aimed at small business and how to incorporate REDI aspects into everyday business. Have been presenting to senior groups about saving money on something very important these days as part of my gig, but it is part of my gig, which is saving money on utility bills, which has been hitting seniors disproportionately hard. And to wrap things up, I'll keep it short tonight. Have been monitoring the activities at the school district, either live or online. And while our role here in the city as commissioners is limited to the city, and the school district is the school district, and they are two different entities, one cannot escape the fact that it evokes emotions ranging from fury to bewilderment, and that we are aware of what's going on, or at least most of us are aware. I can't speak for everybody or anybody else, but certainly many on the commission are very aware of what is going on at the school district. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Eventoff. Okay, Commissioner Wilson.
Yes, sorry, I had some exciting thing. I forgot to share this. So I had the pleasure of helping out at the Easter egg hunt on Saturday. Oh my God, we had so much fun. We got there at 7 a.m. It was freezing, but by 10 o'clock we were already taking off our jackets. But what I thought was just hilarious is that the DJ made the announcement at 10 o'clock that he was going to release it and everybody could run out there. At 10:02, all the eggs, candy, Rice Krispie treat, everything you can mention was already gone off the field. It's amazing how those kids just devour the candy. I think I ate some also. But, and then the last thing, I also helped out at the High Hopes, and this is for young adults with disabilities, and they had it last Friday. And it was such a great time connecting with these kids out there on the dance floor. It was like a sock hop, and it was like a 50s theme, and they were all dressed up, and they were just so, so cute. So the parents and I were in the corner just chatting, and I found out that a couple of the parents came all the way from Hemet. They said, Denise, we have nothing like this in Hemet for our young adults that are special needs. And they said, please let your city know that we are so grateful that they take interest in our kids with special needs to make them feel that they are special. So City of Temecula, I want to let you know you're definitely doing something good when we have Hemet come all the way here just so that their kids can have a great evening on the Friday night. So I applaud you, City of Temecula, for that. And I'm done. That completes for real.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Commissioner Pastorian?
Let me start with, because you've mentioned the egg hunt there. I had the pleasure of attending the special games with a few of my fellow commissioners as well, and that is a phenomenal event. I think it's been going on for so long, and what's really great about it is that it appeals to the whole family. It's got everything for everyone, and it really is inclusive. So that's probably one of the greatest pieces to take away from that event. I would say in kind of a comment, I guess, back to your High Hopes, which is amazing. High Hopes is a great program. They have actually something coming up here again within the community. But I would ask our city to also not forget about that middle group, our younger special needs community as well, that still needs social interactions and gatherings. And while the special games are great, they're annual. And we need things that are happening monthly and are targeting some of our kind of what I would consider to be a gap group. So I would encourage something to start getting off the ground in that respect. One of the things that, in terms of a highlight that I got to participate in, is a conference put on by our special education local plan out in Riverside, and it was a really phenomenal conference. But specifically, one of the things that I took away, and I attended some very direct seminars based on REDI. And kind of what that would look like. And one of the things that I took away from that is really begging the question to people to start thinking about how their implicit biases actually impact their interactions and relationships with others. And when we can start to look at that and wrap our head around, kind of do that 360 assessment on ourselves, we can have better relationships, better communication, and get to a place of real meaningful discussions and healing and, quite frankly, work that needs to be done in this particular area. So that was one of the really great pieces, is kind of being able to look at that. Another piece that I thought was interesting is to start becoming, if you're not already, and I think many of us are, but as we start to get really deeper into this work, cultural awareness. And the more aware that we are, and when I say culture, I don't necessarily mean race or ethnicity per se, right? I think that as we become a group here, this mosaic of Temecula, that also includes the fact that we've created our own culture here. And what is that? And what does that look like? And so being aware of that, and that includes our special needs communities, our elderly community as well, and all those in between. So I think just as we start to look at that, how that awareness can actually work to inspire us and to do more to do more things that are important. The last thing I will say, well, two last things I'll say here is I have an opportunity coming up to utilize one of the platforms that I'm involved in to lead a leadership course for youth. And I would encourage everyone here, and I know all of this talking to the kettle here, right? But so you guys don't count really. But for everybody else, whatever platform that it is that you have, and if that's a phone call even to a friend, right? Leverage that. To make a difference. The platform that I'm going to be using is, I'm doing this leadership course, and there's a theme behind it. And I really think it's important that when we start to push that message, especially with our kids, because they are the future, right? So that theme is going to be looking like it's the power of possibilities because you matter. And that's really what it is, because you all matter, today, tomorrow, and, forever, really. And to that point, Jillian, I will just say, it is kind of about the plum pudding, right? Because it's about leaving a legacy. And whether you like it or you don't like it, they'll always remember it. So.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, Commissioner Deutsch?
Ooh, that was a good segue about leaving a legacy. I went to Daryl Farnbach's memorial service earlier this week, and for those who are watching this on video and those here, if you haven't Googled Daryl Farnbach, please do. The legacy that he left behind in terms of preserving the history of this area is mind-boggling. And the number of people, there were probably 200 people more. I know we had 200 chairs. There were more than that who came, and like 15 speakers, because everybody loved this man and everyone was there to support the things that he did for Temecula in terms of preserving our history and tracing the foundations that we stand on. It was an amazing, amazing experience, and I hope that everyone will learn a little bit more about him and about the history of this area, because every day I am in awe of who has been here and on whose shoulders we stand. I also want to encourage everyone, if you have not picked up your new community events brochure, I carry that thing around with me, and I've already gone through it and circled everything and transferred it all into my calendar. So if you will grab one, I know that there are usually some outside, they're at different stations around Temecula. Pick one up, look at the events that are coming up. There is something for everyone. I wish I could take every class that's listed in there. It is fabulous, and I just want to praise all of the staff from the city who put together these amazing events and opportunities for us to come together. And that is my report. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Commissioner Faulkner?
Thank you. It's been a busy month since our last meeting. I had a chance to go to the job fair at the mall. I had a chance to speak to many of the organizations that were hiring and spend a little time talking to the Boys and Girls Club representative there, which led me to come to the event that we had the other day to spend time with them, to talk to them as well, which is really great to expand upon what they're doing. So that was really good. I spent a lot of time at Temecula Valley Museum with the murals and then the things that they host there as well, our cultural days. I was there this weekend, and the Moroccan event they had, this cultural event they had this weekend. Had a great time. I didn't think I was going to be dancing, but I got pulled in. So I was watching it first. I'm like, give me 1 minute to watch what you're doing before I jump in the line. But it was great. It was a great time. They pulled me in the line. I got the dance down. So and I've already lost it. I don't even remember what I did, but I'll learn again. So those are great events. Keep putting those on for the city. Those are amazing. Another opportunity to be inclusive and educational to our community about the different demographics that live here. So glad we put that on, and just keep doing that. Those are special events. The Great Oak Special Games, we were there together. I can tell you, our Commissioner Pastorian put her on the spot. Many of the kids that were there knew her by name. That just shows you the dedication and impact she has on that special group and the work that she's doing. She's great in that space, and she really works with families and their kids to ensure that they have an inclusive space to be able to grow and develop. So I applaud you for that. And it was a great time there. The highlight of my time there was we were hula hooping. Well, I was trying to hula hoop. Couldn't quite get it. But this little kid threw the hula hoop. And he ran up to me and just grabbed me and hugged me and said, "I love you." I broke down. I'm a big man, but I mean, that killed me in my heart. I'm like, and sitting there like, this is why we do this. I mean, that moment was what our city, this divisiveness that we have in our city, needed to see, and we need to be looking at ourselves like that. He didn't know me from anything. It just came up and grabbed me and said, "I love you," and then ran on and got the hula hoop and started doing his things. That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. The Old Town Blue Station ribbon cutting, we were there to just make sure our law enforcement knew that they're family here. Although we contract with them, they're part of this city's family, and we wanted to make sure we showed up to let them know that we appreciate them keeping us safe and appreciate the work they do in our city. And what a great opportunity for our city to really invest in them and really expand and give them the space right over here to really be able to check in and check out, not have to go all the way back to the main space. So that is great, and it was a great opportunity to show them love as well. I went to Inclusive Services at Friendship Park. That happens, I think, every month, and had a chance to spend some time there with some of our special needs and their family. And the bunny was there, so it was really cool, and I had a chance to just sit there and talk to them and spend some time with those families and the kids, and that was really cool as well, just to talk to them about how the services and what they think about the services. And I talked to a family from Marietta. They came to Temecula to be a part of this. They said they wish we had this over here. So our city's doing something great in this space, that people are coming from other cities to come here. We're kind of the benchmark for what that looks like in regards to connecting with our special needs and families and their kids and adults as well. So you're doing something great. Keep doing that. And also went through the, make sure you go and check out Through Darkness and Light, the Underground Railroad exhibit at the Temecula Museum. That's going from April 7th to May 21st. It's really great. They have it every year, so it's good to see the path they took to free slaves back then through the Underground Railroad to get them up to the north, where they didn't have to deal with the things in the south. So again, a great exhibit to go check out as well. I had a chance to go to the Equity, Access, and Inclusion team event they had. We Elevate Student Voices. They had the first one last night. They'll have one Monday and Wednesday of next week. And what they do is celebrate these student unions that they have on the campuses, and really allow them in a safe space to to voice their concerns, to voice the great things that are going on with the school system. They start off with a celebration with the ROTC. Air Force ROTC did a little event. Then they rolled right into awarding students. And then after that, they had a panel led by Dr. Tu Price, who's the Equity, Access, and Inclusion Coordinator for Temecula Valley Unified School District, and allowed them to really speak freely about their experiences in the Temecula Valley Unified School District, the positive and the bad. I was sitting there, my mouth dropped, that we still have the things going on today that we had going on back in the day, in the 60s, in the 50s, in the 70s, that kids are still being discriminated against based on their sexual orientation, based on their skin color, based on their ethnic background, from a young Jewish young student to an African American young man, and in between. We got work to do, and I understand there's a lot of things going over there right now, and the discussions that are happening on the educational side. Commissioner Evanthoff already talked about. There's a difference in two different chains of commands, education and city council, and our city council and mayor can't control what they do in education, and that's what we need to make sure our residents know. There are two different chain of commands. But there's some things that I'm going to speak quickly about. That is, education needs to be inclusive. That's what I would say about that. And it needs to be inclusive to educate our kids about all the impact that all Americans have had on this society. And until we get history books correct, K through 12, we're going to continue to have those discussions because as of right now, it's not. I think we can all say it's not what it should be. I remember speaking at a Black History Month event. I brought my history book in from college, and there were 4 pages dedicated to Black history. And this was almost a 700-page book that I studied from. We need to get that right, and it needs to be inclusive. And educators across, not only in California, but across this country, need to come together and make sure that we get the history books right and teach it the correct way. So that's all I'll say about that. But this event was really great. If you have a chance to go to them, they'll have 2 more. They're really good to get an experience, get real experience from students who are actually navigating through our educational system here in Temecula. Easter egg hunt, man, I got there late. The kids just destroyed all the eggs. I didn't get one egg with any candy in it. But it was a great event, so I took some pictures, talked to some parents, and the one in Great Oak was well attended, and they had a great time. So another great event that our city does. I don't know how you guys figure out how to put all this together, but you guys are busy, and the impact is highly positive. So keep doing what you're doing. And then as I'm coming from there, I look at some special needs adults playing basketball. And I stopped by. I didn't know there was a Special Olympics organization here that does specifically that, and sat down and started talking to them about what they're doing. I'm like, I didn't know you guys were doing this. He's like, yeah, we come out and they play basketball. They have coaches. They compete. So there are a lot of things great going on in our city, and we need to get back to really sharing that and get engaged with the things that brings us together versus separates us. So let's continue to march forward, continue to recognize these great cultures, our Arab American brothers and sisters. We appreciate you this month. We love you. You're a part of our city, and we welcome you, and we want to create a space that you feel safe and engaged and involved, because your history is a part of American history. So thank you, and happy Arab American History Month. That's all I have.
As you can see, our commissioners are hustlers. They are everywhere doing everything, so we appreciate that. They are the voice of your community when it comes to inclusive events, and we want to make sure that you know what's going on. So that's why we attend all of these events, and us having a presence there gives you the opportunity to have those conversations that are so important. I did attend the Special Olympics with some of my comrades here, and we had such a great time. It was so fun. It was such a way for our community to come together, and the children were amazing. And we didn't fall over the hula hoops, which was a miracle in itself, but I did get some really good video of Commissioner Faulkner, so that is up for a bid. Eric and I happened to attend the Chamber Gala together, and it was a really good event a couple of weeks ago. A very diverse group of winners, to include a Jewish-owned business, to include a woman's-owned business, and the biggest winner of the night was Pechanga Resort and Casino. In light of all of the things they do within this community, as in they give back, they're an excellent employer to our community. I actually went somewhere with some of their employees recently, and they do really well. They take care of their people. So congratulations to them. They deserve it. They are definitely a community champion.
Stop. She thought she was going to get away with it. She was recognized as well. So
Yes, she
tell them what you were
was.
recognized for. Exactly.
I got the Chairman's Choice Award.
Yes,
Yes,
she
I
did. And then
Thank
she
you.
celebrated by dancing all night on the
All
floor.
night, yes. We were dancing. We were cutting a rug, us commissioners, yes. I did also attend the Boys and Girls Club fundraiser. We did talk about that last month in regards to the clubhouse that is over on Pujol Street. This fundraiser was to raise funds to get that open again. It's going to be over $1 million to get that club open, and they're working really, really hard. So if you know somebody with lots of money, send them that direction, because they could use every penny they can get. I attended the police department storefront grand opening with Commissioner Faulkner. We had a really nice time. We felt very welcomed. We were included in a few pictures, and it's a great station right next door. And for us to feel safe as a community here in Temecula, we get a lot of tourists, a lot of people coming through Old Town, so it's really great to have that right next door. Daryl Farnbach's memorial, I was there yesterday. I saw Stacia just running around and helping and dedicating her time to. And the history of Temecula is really, really important, so it's important to know that what the hard work that our community has done to be able to hang on to some of our history, and Vail Ranch is where it is because of his work and his community's work. Jillian was also there, so thank you for attending. And then the Underground Railroad exhibit at the museum, I intend to go. I went last year, or was it the year before, and I was almost in tears the whole way through. It was just beyond moving. And then lastly, I took part in a webinar. I didn't take part. I watched a webinar on the Inland Empire Anti-Racist Summit, and it was fascinating. They had a speaker, and he's a very well-known actor. And
LeVar Burton.
Thank you. Yes.
He looks great, by the way.
Looks amazing. I think he's 30 years old. But he is amazing. He's a great actor, and he's been in many, many things for many, many, many years. And he shared his stories on issues he's had through his career. All the money he's made, all the notoriety he has, it doesn't make a difference. He's still a Black man in this community, and he was able to share some of those experiences. But he's definitely using his voice within that community to share that and to make sure that those conversations are had. So it was very enjoyable. They did a really good job, and I was glad that I invested the time in it. So moving on from there, thank you to all the commissioners for all of your hard work all month, and we look forward to what the month ahead has in store for us. And we will move on right now to the Community Services Report with Director Erica Russo.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you again so much for having me here. I really appreciate especially hearing how all of you are, participating in our events, attending our events, going to the facilities that Community Services helps manage, and it's fantastic to get that perspective and feedback, positive or negative. We always welcome it, but particularly hearing your perspectives on how all of these different events and activities that you've seen and attended helps, impact the community in a positive way. So with that, I just wanted to mention a couple of other items. As you all heard from the presentation from Willa Augustine, we were gearing up for our Culture Fest, which we're so excited to have our second annual Culture Fest. You guys have started a new tradition, a new event that we will be celebrating every year. In addition to that, we're getting ready for summer, which it's not quite summer yet, but we have to plan pretty far in advance. So that means all of the typical summer programming, like we'll be having our summer reading program at the library, which offers kids incentives to participate and read a certain number of books throughout the year. There's a lot of fun activities. Kids can check in weekly and get their prizes if they continue reading. We'll have, of course, our summer day camp and summer swim lessons and just all of the summer swim activities that happen just regardless outside of lessons. It's a great time for kids to cool off in the pool. We do try to really expand access to swim lessons because drowning is one of the top causes of death, particularly for children under the ages of 5 in the United States. So we partner with the County of Riverside for a program called First 5, and it's intended to expand water safety access to children under the ages of 5 years old. So, and we're always trying to expand that access through all ages, and we offer swim lessons for literally all ages. If you're an adult and you've never learned to swim, you can go and take swim lessons and learn some water safety. And you can also take private swim lessons through the pool, because we understand that for adults, a lot of times it's, you're not going to want to jump in the pool with a group of kids 5 to 6 years old, maybe if you're learning the basics. So we have you covered for that. Also, we have adaptive swim lessons, which pair individuals with special needs with a swim buddy, and in addition to the instructor, of course. And the swim buddy, each participant has a swim buddy dedicated to them who helps them participate in swim lessons and learn in a way that is appropriate and safe for them as well. I have to check my phone really quickly because people send me their things to talk about today. I was like, send me what you want me to mention at REDI, and so I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. As several of you mentioned, the exhibit Through Darkness to Light is reopened at the museum, which is basically a photographic journal along the Underground Railroad. And the photos are reproduced in a very large scale. So as you walk through it, it's meant to kind of take you through a sample Underground Railroad passage from the Deep South to the North. And it contains a lot of interpretive materials along the way to help provide context for what you're viewing. And it is a very, very moving exhibit, which we're really happy to be able to host for the second time this year. In addition to that, for our homeless outreach team participated with the City of Murrieta in interviews to try to find a facilitator or consultant who could help the 5 cities here in Southwest Riverside County develop a consistent approach to addressing issues related to homelessness. So still very much in its formative phases, but we're actively participating in that process because we all recognize that's an issue that faces our community, all of our communities, and we want to make sure we're all sharing our best practices and developing the most effective possible ways of responding. Finally, the senior programming, Mary Phillips Senior Center, which is right here in Old Town, is closed now for renovation. It closed down several weeks ago, But in the meantime, we have relocated all of that programming over to the Temecula Community Center, which is over here on Pujol Street. So we have our daily meal program for the seniors, as well as all of our activities and our senior transportation service are all based out of the TCC. And I hear the seniors are liking it so much they might not want to come back to the Mary Phillips Senior Center, but once it's renovated, we're hoping everybody will be excited to move back over there. And that's scheduled, moving back over there is scheduled probably for September timeframe. One last thing while we're talking about closures. Currently, we have several facilities closed for renovation. The Community Recreation Center over on Rancho Vista, which is our central pool location and recreation center next to Ronald Reagan Sports Park, has been closed for renovations, and it will be reopening in May. So we should have all of our normal summer programming back up and running. In addition, Mary Phillips will be closed until September, roughly. And then the Margarita Recreation Center over on Margarita Road, we're very excited. It's been a long process since about 2015. We've been working on planning, studying, envisioning, renovating that facility. We closed it, demolished it, we're rebuilding it, brand new facility, and that should open this fall. So we're very excited. We're getting ready to bring like a full recreation center with aquatics programming over there. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Fascinating. You guys are amazing. Thank you for all of the out-of-the-box ideas that you bring to our city. I hope that people watch our city council meetings and watch our commission meetings because they'll be able to see how hard you guys work. It's absolutely amazing. And you've heard here tonight, all the other cities are like, we wish we were doing these things. So thank you for all of your hard work, and to your team as well. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for the support. We couldn't do any of it without the support of council and commissions, so we really, really appreciate the support and the vision.
Very good. Alrighty, we'll move on to Deputy City Clerk Erica Ramirez.
I just wanted to say happy to be part of celebrating and recognizing Arab American Heritage Month. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, we're just about done. I just want to remind people that in May we have a couple of proclamations coming up. Please make a note. There will be a date and a day change in May. So instead of the second Thursday, it will be on Monday, May 15th. So Monday, May 15th, right here, same place, same time. We are going to acknowledge and give proclamations to Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month and also Jewish American Heritage Month. As always, the city will start putting out that information on the first of the month, so we'll be able to get that word out there. We'll share it to our community leaders, to our community groups, and get as many people in here as possible to help us celebrate. And with that, we will go ahead and adjourn for tonight. Again, thank you all for being here, and we appreciate you, and happy Arab American Heritage Month. Take care.
I wish they could bring some food for us to sample.